Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, concussion, you know, is in the heavyweight division the most, right? You dudes get concussed in the heartbeat in the heavyweight division, right? So we're going to talk about it. Well, the heavyweight division is like most other divisions, but the heavyweight division is a glamour division. We would like to see an undisputed heavyweight champion, right? We wanted it way back. Lennox Lewis got it, but he had to be finagling with Riddick Bowe, who didn't want to fight him. They had a tournament. A lot of people forget that, but it was a tournament. It was Lennox Lewis versus Razor Ruddock, who was hot at the time. The winner of that faces the winner of Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield. Everybody was up for it. It was kind of like what should have happened with Devin Haney and Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez and Richard Comey. That was the same thing, but there's always somebody who backs out. Like Lomachenko backed out and asked for a franchise title, and Riddick Bowe threw his in the trash can. And see, the deal about it is simply the dudes that they do that they trying to avoid. Sometimes if they weren't awesome, then you'll be like, oh, he's not really avoiding. He just wants to do this. No, but Devin Haney is ridiculous. Look at him, undisputed lightweight champion, and there's no close fights with him. So Lomachenko would rather fight Teofimo Lopez. Riddick Bowe got beat up already in the Seoul Olympics from Lennox Lewis, and Lennox Lewis is Lennox Lewis, the GOAT, actually, in the heavyweight division, right? So, yeah, that's why he didn't want to fight him, right? So that's what happens, right? And now we get, when we get undisputed, I told you, people start acting funny. And this is no different, right? Tyson Fury is the guy who has one belt. Alexander Usyk has 3 belts. Judging from Tyson Fury's history, he says one thing, does the other thing. He's unpredictable. Can we agree on that? I'm not going to even go in him on other stuff that he is. We'll just leave it at unpredictable. In the meantime, Alexander Usyk has won undisputed in cruiserweight division by never going home. Alexander Usyk has had maybe 2 or 3 fights in the Ukraine. Hasn't had him in anything significant. If it was beating Glowacki in Poland, if it was beating Michael Hunter in the States, if it was beating Marco Huck in Berlin, Marius Bridas in Latvia, Marat Gassiev in Russia, Tony Bellew in England, David Chisora in England, Andy Joshua in England. You know what I'm saying? And want to fight whoever. And, like when I get to it, even Deontay Wilder, if he can't get this other fight, then he would fight him in America. He's never trying to go home. That's unprecedented stuff, right? So we know if there's a problem between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, we know who it is. So bottom line is, Alexander Usyk, after fighting Joshua twice, that's a 30-pound difference between the two. He won both fights, but, he needed time to heal up. Similar to what Canelo needs, right? Needs times to heal up. And so he wanted to fight at the beginning of 2023. Of course, Tyson Fury says something different and wants to have an interim fight until that fight. Similar to what he did with Deontay Wilder when he had a rematch clause after the first fight, and then he went off to fight, the Tom Schwarzes and the Otto Wallens of the world instead of doing what the contract said, right? So we remember that too. So the end of the day, Usyk is saying, well, I wanted to stay out. Tyson Fury's trying to fight Anthony Joshua on December the 3rd. But Usyk's team has come out, Klimas and them. Hey, you know what? No, you don't have to fight Joshua. We'll fight undisputed, right, this year. Then I just have to, nix my plans that I had of resting. If it takes that to get undisputed, then I'll fight you this year. This is Alexander Usyk talking to Tyson Fury. So it's not on him. Alexander Usyk is ready to fight Tyson Fury even this year if it has to be, because he don't want no interim fight with Anthony Joshua and all that. He wants to make the undisputed fight. Now, this is Usyk for you. If he can't get Tyson Fury to say, hey, let's nix the idea with AJ, me and you can get undisputed because that's what I want. I'm trying to be undisputed in 2 divisions and you in the way. We don't need the Joshua thing. Me and you dance before. We dance in December. Let's see what happens now. But if not, we still going to get a good fight. Because, Tyson Fury and Joshua, okay, that's not a bad fight for England, right? And then what you got? You got Deontay Wilder versus Usyk, right? That's a good fight. So, and that's a good fight because that's the fight like Sean Porter was saying here. He'd rather have that fight anyway because it's the kind of fight that keeps you at the edge of your seat, right? And, it probably will. If Deontay Wilder can get past Helenius, which is not a given, seeing as though what Deontay Wilder's been through of late, I'm not sure if Deontay Wilder is going to be the same. But if he's the same or 85% of the same, which means ain't nobody cut his right hand off, right? And he has a little bit of punch resistance, which I'm expecting him to have a lot less because of a dent in his head. I can't unsee a dent in somebody's head. And for people that think something like that, forget who has a dent, right? Somebody shows you a picture of someone with a dent in their head. What is your next question? Damn, how the hell that happen? Right? That's what happens mostly. Deontay Wilder gets a dent in his head, and we don't even ask why the hell that happened. How the hell did that happen? A dent. So just for me, not being able to unsee a dent in your head, I'm thinking, using common sense, there might be an issue with punch resistance when it comes to Deontay Wilder. If not, everybody in trouble. If not, because he's coming back with a vengeance. But I think that's going to be an issue. Let's see what happens going there. But, I don't even really want Deontay Wilder and Alexander Usyk because I roll with both of these guys, right? But it's boxing, and sometimes, you got two guys that you like that's going to fight. That's similar to Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. It's like I like both of those guys, right? I got a little favorite in there, but I like both of those guys, and I wish them both well. Same thing here. But, hey, they got to fight. Right? Let's see what happens. I think Alexander Usyk, like I say, and I'll say it again, he's a legend now. He was a legend before he fought Anthony Joshua in the heavyweight division. He was a legend for what he did in the cruiserweight division and how he did it. But the way he rolls up until now, this is unprecedented, you guys. So pay attention to somebody. We got legends running around us right now as we speak. And it's not the ones people are telling you. It's people like Usyk and people like Terrence Crawford. Right? People like Devin Haney. It's ridiculous. We just need to fathom and understand that that's what we're seeing right now. I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I am up out of here, y'all.